It's a Floral Friday football today. I wanted to start with a little bit of college.
Okay.
Saw a headline on...
Oh.
Exactly. I saw a headline on CBS this morning saying Caitlin DeBoer thinks Alabama is playoff ready right now. No big deal about that. But is he ready for how high the expectations from the fan base in Alabama is going to be?
I don't think so. I know Rico and I disagree, and that's okay. I question
the fit. We actually agree on this.
Oh, all right. No, I question the fit, brother, because he's not a recruiter. He's never coached in a high-pressure environment. And no disrespect, while it takes skill and wisdom to go, I'm going to get my guy from Indiana to come to Washington. He hasn't proven he can develop a QB. Penix has been Penix from day one.
Right.
So Kenny, and here's the other thing, I'll just say it, Milroe sucks.
Well, that's just it. Milroe is going to be the litmus test. If all of a sudden he can get consistency out of him, that'll buy him some time that because you're Alabama, you simply walk into a kid's house and say, don't you want to play for Bama? Yes, I do, coach.
Right.
You don't really have to recruit that hard. It's like Duke in basketball. You're going to get players. Now, to answer Kenny's question, I don't think he understands the pressure cooker that he's in because 3 wins means you've had a failure of a season.
Right. Win, but it's not by enough, you're dead.
Right.
It's a whole different thing down there.
We just lost to Auburn? Oh, okay. Hot seat.
Right. So going to the NFL, one of the bigger storylines has been Tua. He's been absent for most of the offseason work for the Dolphins. Mike Florio said that he's in a tough spot with the Dolphins, that contract situation. How do you see that ending?
Him getting paid. It's how it always ends. Yeah. He'll get paid. I think it's a dicey contract to sign. I mean, I don't mind him, but am I really ready to pay him more than Jared Goff? No, I am not. But that's what's going to happen, Kenny. Deadlines make deals. People don't.
Yeah, and you have to be ready to say, I'm going to pay this guy higher than, player X because that's just the nature of the beast. And it doesn't make sense, but it's who's ever next is going to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. I don't think that Miami's going to get rid of him. I don't think Miami wants to start over again. It's more of the devil that you know. We score a lot of points. We just have to find a way to stop teams and play in cold weather when it comes to the playoffs.
Here's the delicate balance, too, is you don't want to saddle a new coach with that contract. If McDaniel doesn't make the playoffs or doesn't win a playoff game, I could see Stephen Ross getting rid of him. Meaning, if I sign Tua, the next guy has to be willing to inherit that. That's also a danger thing. Like, I'm not trying to be an alarmist. I like McDaniel. He's fun. I don't think he's done a bad job. But they can't go out and have a year like they had, tank in December, and get embarrassed in a playoff game again.
Right, but the thing is, you've had a little bit of success. It'll be hard to sell your fans on, well, we're going to bring in a new quarterback, and we're going to have to start all over again.
So over 100,000 fans and people have signed a petition for the Chiefs to release kicker Harrison Butker for his speech that he made. God. I want you guys to discuss that because I think that's been one of the bigger storylines.
Yeah, here's where I'm at with it. I don't understand why we have to cancel people when they say things we just don't agree with. All right, look, am I endorsing what Butker said? No. My point is, I don't feel a need to launch him into space. It's America. He said so. What do you want me to say? Now, I also didn't just take a word of it. I listened to the whole thing. I think he's a little zany. I'm also not a religious person. But you're at Benedictine College, and it's all this faith-based stuff. Whatever, man. Somebody should have looked at his speech before he got up there. But no, I don't think it should cost him the ability to kick a ball. You could just say, I don't agree with the guy. And I move on with my day. It takes a lot for me to be offended. Sorry. Go ahead, Rico. Am I crazy that I'm not crazy about the Butker thing?
No, Mike, you're not crazy. The thing is, he went off the rails. It was like, oh, okay. I've been saying, it reminded me back in the day of the old Reggie White speech where he had great intentions and somehow it just went sideways and got away from him. Would I have said it at any of that stuff? Probably not, but he did. You chose to bring him here, so you deal with the fallout, but to kick him off the team, no, because you're right. That's what's wrong now. It's like if you say something that you offend people, well, now you need to be buried in a hole somewhere.
But you have people now who are professionally offended. That's their profession. Be offended. Find something to be offended by or they cannot function in their day. I saw what Butker said. I go, well, that's probably not going to go over well. And I finished eating my breakfast. I don't need the man launched into space.
Right.
I don't care.
Because when I heard it and I watched it, I was like, well, that's odd. Like, why would you say that at a graduation? Huh.
I go to David. He's the religious one. I don't know.
No, I mean, it was just one of those, like, I didn't understand it, but I don't have to understand everything. You knew who you were bringing in. Maybe somebody should have read the speech. Hey, you know what? Run that past us. We just want to see what you're going to do. It felt like he may have gone off script a little bit, and here we are.
Some teammates have supported him. The heiress to the Chiefs' kingdom has supported him. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't really care. Next.
Both of you have said this. If you have to pre-read someone's speech, then just don't invite them, period. Okay? That's what they probably shouldn't have done in the first place.
How many people had to say no to Benedictine College before Harrison Butker is your choice for a commencement speech?
Can we get Mahomes? No. Kelsey? No. Taylor Swift?
Rashee
No.
Rice. He's indisposed currently.
You can either get Buckner or Kadarius Toney. We'll take Buckner.
Let's go up to the broadcast booth. Jason Kelsey in, RG3 out on ESPN's Monday Night Countdown. Is that a good ad? Is that a good replacement?
This would be my version of can't be worse.
Like RG3?
RG3 is a crime against broadcasting. So can't be worse.
At least RG3's entertaining.
No. Once you went with Big Penix energy and orgy in the end zone and all the nonsense. No, we're done here. We're good.
He's just a modern day Chris Berman. He just comes up with weird stuff to
So an
say.
idiot. Got it.
But Berman ends up going into the Hall of Fame.
Not my Hall of Fame.
Kelsey.
You can like him. I don't.
No, Kelsey is just one of those, okay, after you finish shotgunning a beer, what else are you going to bring?
I said to you, it ain't that Kelsey's good. It's that I would have taken an empty beer can over RG3.
I like RG3.
Good for you.
So I saw a headline, an article about contending teams and their biggest weakness. So speaking of speaking of Jason Kelsey, rather, will the tush push be as effective without him?
No. I'm not trying to be smart.
Because it was like 100% success rate when you saw it last year.
He's the straw that stirs the drink. Now, it also helps that your quarterback squats 650 pounds. You know, Jalen Hurts is the strongest lower body quarterback in the game. That combined with a borderline Hall of Fame center, that's why it's really good, too. And then you get to the part it's a totally unfair play. Rico?
It's not unfair.
I just put that there for you.
I know. You know what? I feel like Mike, Kenny. That's a great question. Wow. That's a really good question. I didn't think about that. Yeah, your center is gone, but no, I think that they will, and I think they'll still get it in the high 90% range. It's not an unfair play. Everybody can run the play. They just choose not to do it as well as Philly.
So still enough where you're going to see it probably every single game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, as much as you won't see field goals kicked in this city, yeah, why not?
That's a cheap shot.
So back to the broadcast booth, Greg Olsen will take a $7 million salary hit as Tom Brady replaces him.
Total disgrace.
Olsen
has worked his way to being the premier guy on that network. He's very good at what he does. And now you're bringing in Captain Filler, Captain Botox. The guy is as boring as the day is long, and Olsen loses his gig. If I were Olsen, I'd say, I'll tell you what, cut my salary by $10 million. I'm going to free agency. He'd be scooped up in a heartbeat.
See, I wonder how long that contract is with all the new streaming services coming out there. They have to see what we see and say he's not happy. So guess what? We're going to build around him.
It's a disgrace.
We're going to pay him whatever. So he's going to take a pay cut now, but I think he'll make that money up in the future.
And by the way, can I make one edit to this? Can we please discuss this whole idea of agreeing to do a roast and then playing the victim?
That was literally on my notes for the next question is he's being roasted, and he reacted to it. Sometimes you don't know, and he didn't realize it was going to be that bad, acting aggrieved.
Even worse, Giselle's playing the victim. You banged the Karate Kid. I didn't. You don't get to be mad at that. Tom, you agreed to this. What are we doing?
For this.
Oh, it had an effect on my kids. I'm sorry. When you read that Nikki Glazer and Kevin Hart and every professional ball breaker was going to be there, did you really think they weren't going to make your wife cheating on you with the jiu-jitsu coach a thing? I watched the roast. I mean, you knew what was coming.
Jeff Ross was there. You knew bad things were about to happen.
Don't agree to the roast. You don't need the money.
So the last thing here, are you going to watch the Giants Hard Knocks offseason?
No.
Stop. Okay.
Stop. Why are you looking at me with disapproval? Why?
Why do you feel like Mike, I'm laughing because it's funny what you're saying.
Oh, all right. My bad. I'm sorry.
You know what, Mike? Little known fact. Every now and then, I have the best seat in the house.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
There was a disapproval.
So, you know what's funny is when you get so upset, you literally have an argument with yourself.
I do, because I feel like I live on a different planet. It's like the Truman Show,
right.
And I'm watching Brady and Giselle act as victims here, and it's not... That's not how it works.
So I don't interrupt you. I just sit back and wish I had some popcorn right now because I'm watching you fight with yourself.
Now, Kenny, what did you ask me? What's the deal?
I said, are you going to watch the Giants Hard Knocks? And then I answered it, no, because obviously you're not. No. And that is football today.
Go to hell.